Good morning. It is Saturday, October 28th. Wow, I've only been off one day of school and already am losing the date. Yes, it's the 28th for sure. And I'm having my favorite, well, one of my favorite teas. I like many different teas. This is called Sleepy Time, and it's a chamomile blend. It does not have any caffeine. I woke up today with a horrid headache. And I think it's partly the weather and partly that I think I've contracted another cold-like virus because my head feels full and I was sneezing last night. My throat was scratchy, and you know how you get that kind of icky feeling headache? That's what this is. And having to clear my throat and cough a little bit. Yeah, good times. So I've already taken Excedrin and some decongestant, and I've set the timer on my phone to remind me to take more so that hopefully I can get rid of this ickiness. I've already got the rice bag on the back of my head, and I'm going to keep plying myself with this warm tea of whatever varieties. I have lots of tea, so I'll be drinking lots and lots of tea. Lots of water. I had some cereal for breakfast, so hopefully that'll help things out. I just noticed on Netflix, I don't know if you can see it from this far away. It's right there. You probably can't. It's kind of small, so I can zoom in a little. It's kind of glary. But Stranger Things is back. I don't know if anybody else is a Stranger Things fan, but I have been waiting and waiting for that to come back. And it says, new episodes. Woohoo! So Stranger Things for the win. Yay! I'm the only one up right now besides the crazy cats. Apparently it's zoomy time because they're zipping through the house like wackadoos. It's very entertaining anyway. I'm not sure I'm going to accomplish much today other than enjoying our fire over here. And the goobers that I call my furry kids. There's Onyx. Pikachu's over there plotting his whatevers. Whatever cats plot. I have my favorite blankie on. I use this year round. I don't care if it has snowflakes because those are my favorite things. And it's just kind of nice and peaceful right now. I can watch whatever I want. I don't have to do anything right now. I don't have to be mom. I don't have to be wife. I don't have to be teacher. I've already taken care of the cat's physical needs. So I don't have to be kitty mom right now other than just snuggle time when they come up and want some loves. So I'm just relaxing, trying to get rid of this headache so that maybe I can do something a little more exciting today. I've had some video requests made. One of them was a kind of tour of my jewelry storage, which I have filmed. I just need to put it together. So for those of you that are interested in my jewelry collection or my storage of that said jewelry, that will be coming soon to a YouTube channel near you, so stay tuned. And I've also had a request to show how I do my nails. I would be so happy to show you that the next time I change my nails. And I've had a request on a get ready with me to show how I do my makeup. I would be happy to attempt that. I just am not a makeup guru, and my daughter really is the makeup queen around here because she like watches all the YouTube videos on the proper techniques and all the new things. Like she uses all the things that I never even thought of, like bronzer and highlight, and I don't even know all the things she uses. That's how behind I am because I just kind of do basic stuff because honestly, when she does her full face, she's doing makeup for like 30 minutes. Seriously, who has time for that? Like, I need to do 10 minutes or less on my makeup. It also depends on if I'm having a more klutzy day than others and have to redo something, like my liquid eyeliner. Sometimes that goes askew, and I have to get my lovely micellar water out and dab off the boo-boo and start over. So you know how you have bad hair days? Sometimes I have bad makeup days. And it tends to always be in my left eye because I'm right-handed, and so that's kind of backwards to do that eye. So if you ever see my left eye looking a little funkadoodles, that will be why. And I'm sure you have, because it's kind of a several times a week thing sometimes. I've also had a request to show my happy planner, and I would be very happy to show that. Yes. So I thought I just might kind of do, I don't know, not necessarily like a compilation of everything video, but maybe I could just do a viewer requested video of all of the requests all rolled into one video. If you have any ideas, shoot them below in the comments. I love reading your comments and getting input and insight and wisdom and love from out there in YouTube land. So I can tell you my head's already starting to feel a little better because I've been vertical for a while. That's helping a lot. Because I think all the crud in my head is starting to kind of drain a little. So that's good. There is hope for me today. On the agenda today is all the exciting stuff that makes life keep running. Like laundry and probably a trip to the grocery store. Not necessarily made by me, but possibly my daughter or my husband or both. And probably a little bit of meal planning, which honestly that's been an epic fail the last couple weeks, meal planning, because you know people talk about a work-life balance. Let me show you a different view of the world here. I don't think you ever have a day necessarily where everything is balanced. I think it's more of a weekly thing or possibly a monthly thing where things balance out, or maybe even a yearly thing depending on the time of year. Oh, there's Mittens. Just sitting there looking all cute, plotting what she's going to do next, trying to decide where she wants to sleep next probably. Anyway, so sometimes work takes priority, and that's 90% of your energy is focused on that. And sometimes everything is home life. And that's definitely the summertime for me is all about home life and family and all that. And, you know, breaks from school, holidays, things like that. But as you know, we just finished conferences on Thursday. And so the end of the quarter was the 18th of October, and we needed to get grade cards in by the Friday of that week, which was the 20th. So you know that for the last 2 weeks, my majority of time has been consumed with school. School. And so now it's still it's like a pendulum. It swings over and it swings back. And just from my personal experience, my pendulum is not in the middle very often. It's usually one end or the other, you know, to some degree. So for those of you that are feeling stressed out and feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't get this thing figured out, I'm here to tell you that that's just kind of how it is. I think pretty much everyone in the world is in the same situation as far as balancing things. It is a constant struggle, and I think you just kind of have to make peace with it and just tell yourself that it's okay, that sometimes work will take priority. Not forever, but for a short period of time because it has to. Other times, your family needs to take priority because it's more important. And I'm not saying that family's not always important. It is. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, like the housework, things like that. The people are important. The things, not so much. So you do the things that are priority at the time they are priority, and then you move on. So, for example, with report cards, grade cards, whatever you want to call them, end of quarter marking period, that took priority because that was what had to be done at a certain time. Meal planning, not important. Vacuuming the floor, not important. I always keep the dishes up because I just cannot stand having dishes laying around. I can't, that clutters my mind, and then I can't think of anything else. So that's a priority for me. Now, if you're not a goober like me, and that doesn't bother you, I'm happy for you for one thing, because it has driven me flat bananas at times, because the other two vertical creatures in this house don't share the same feelings I do about dishes in the sink. But, yeah, that just is something that I have to work through. And I get to the point where I just take care of it because it's not that important to them, but it drives me crazy. And it's not worth me stressing out over dishes in the sink. I mean, I do realize that that's a little crazy. That's just me, though. That's just me. It's clutter, and I can't stand it. So, and I know that about myself, and I know that I have to get that done before I can really sit down and think about what else I need to be doing. Because that will just always be nagging at me. For some people, it's like other things, you know, whatever. I can't stand having stuff laying all over the countertops or dishes in the sink. I have to take care of those things before I can move on to something else in my life. And I know that about myself. I've learned that about myself. And so I try to just take care of that, and then I can move to the next thing that needs attention. So, you just kind of have to learn yourself and what you can live with and what you can't. And you have to learn what you can live with temporarily and what you can live with permanently. It's an interesting journey. And as I've gotten older, I know people say this all the time, but it's just like when you have a baby and people tell you what it's going to be like. They can tell you all the things that they've experienced, but it doesn't really truly resonate until you are in that situation in your life personally. They'll say, oh, a child changes your life forever. Yes, but that is such a broad statement. You do not realize how much things change and exactly how they change. There are things you never thought of. So it's just like anything. It's all about personal experience and how things affect you and how you think about things. So it's all a journey, and we learn and we grow as we go along. As I was saying, as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned a little more how to prioritize and how to let some things go. I'm not saying I've got that figured out all the way. No, I still have a long way to go. And hopefully I'll be given the time on this earth to get it figured out mostly. But if not, I'll do the best I can until my time is up, right? I have learned, though, to make people more important than things. And I think that's something that comes to some people naturally, and other people, like, I tend to be, I think I'm probably a type A personality, not in everything, but when it comes to what I'm passionate about, then I tend to be a type A personality. And I know some of my friends out there in YouTube land are the same way. Tracy has already admitted it. So I have a kindred spirit for sure with one person out there, probably many, many more. But you just learn to know yourself and your limits and your strengths and your weaknesses. And I've got a friend checking. Aw, Mittens came to say hi. Hi, sweetie. Can you see this furry lump here? This would be Mittens right here. Right there. She has a fascination with my tea. She doesn't try to drink it. She just likes to smell it. So, and I'm fine with that as long as the tongue stays in the mouth. I'm good with that. So she came to say hi and get some loves. Anyway, so I'm just babbling on and on. But, so wow, that was kind of deep for, before the sun came up. I don't even know if that made sense. You'll have to just tell me what you think. We watched a couple, well, I will say we attempted to watch 2 movies last night, and only one of them survived till the end of the DVD. One was called Guardians, and I really should have known better because not every single movie is this way, but many of them, when they say they're not rated, we get lots and lots of movies from Redbox because it's cheap entertainment. So this one it had a really great storyline, I thought, from the summary. But when we went to watch it, it was probably filmed like in Poland or somewhere, which not a problem. But the funny thing was, instead of subtitles, these people were speaking Polish or Russian, some kind of dialect. Instead of putting subtitles, they just had done voiceovers. So it was in English. But you know how the mouth movement doesn't match the words when something's out of sync. Like I've noticed that in some of my watching YouTube videos. I think YouTube format has changed or something. And sometimes, like, when I'm watching on my iPad, it can't process fast enough to keep the lips and the sounds in sync with each other. So I have to stop the video. I have to close completely out of YouTube and go back in, and then it's in sync for a while. And then it does it again. So it's just a processing thing. But it was like this on this movie, except it wasn't out of sync. It was because they were speaking a different language, and they just dubbed over the voices with English. And it wasn't necessarily that it was dubbed over in English. It was the cheesiness of the acting of the English-speaking people. It made me feel like I was watching almost like a cartoon, like a Scooby-Doo version of this movie. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Scooby-Doo. I'm a 70s girl. I was a kid in the 70s. Scooby-Doo was my jam. I still love Scoobs. I even have a sight word game that I showed you that's a Scooby game. But it was too much for my husband to take. He goes, okay, I can't watch this. I said, well, nothing's happened yet. Like, they haven't gotten to the part. This is still like the intro to the movie and oh, you English people, help me. I can't think of the parts of a story unfolding, but it was like oh gosh, I can't think of the word. You know, when they're setting up everything, that part of the movie, where you're getting all the background and something is about to happen, but we got to get everything in place first before we can show you. Yeah, I can't even think of the word for that. I was a really great English student, but I just, for the life of me, cannot think of the terminology at the moment, so I apologize for my rambling, but I think you get the gist of what I was saying. Anyway, they hadn't gotten to the point where they had gotten any action really happening. So I guess the plot of this movie was some, like, mad scientist guy had experimented on people in World War II. Oh, really? That never happened. And he was found out, and some people came to try to grab him, and instead of allowing himself to be captured, he blew up his lab, causing him to sustain some kind of burn injuries. It started out kind of like, this is how a superhero happens. You know, when they have a lab accident, and that's why Spider-Man can climb walls, and that's why somebody can freeze something or melt something or whatever. It was like that. But much cheesier, if you can even imagine. So this man escapes, and he has done experimenting on himself too, because his muscles are just insane. Like, kind of like the Incredible Hulk on steroids, if you can imagine. So he runs from his lab that he has set to explode, hoping that people will presume he died. Well, they knew better. Anyway, through these experiments, he had created some superhumans. And then his lab was disbanded, and his people were sent away, but they were not changed back to normal people again. They still had these whatever crazy powers. They had kind of scattered to the far parts of the earth because they were so unusual that they had to kind of live remotely, like by themselves, mostly. I think there was one person that, couldn't die. Another person that could control rocks. Just, it was interesting. I thought it had a really good plot. However, the making of the movie was a little cheesy. A little too much for my husband. Like, we didn't get through very much of it. So I said, well, maybe I'll just watch it by myself because, in the setting up of all this stuff, the military was trying to find all these people to pull them together so that they could track down this mad scientist and find him and put him in prison or kill him, one of the two. Because he had, like, blown up some military bases or something. So he was, like, public enemy number one, and they wanted him to be captured. So they knew the only way they could capture him was to find the people that he had created, because they were the only ones that would have the means to find him and capture him. So that's where we left off, was like the first maybe 15 minutes of the movie. The military people were scouring different places looking for these experimental people. So I think I may just throw that in because I'm kind of in the cheesy mood right now. And it would probably really appeal to me. But it was interesting. The movie we did finish watching was Baywatch. And I had trepidation since it came out, it's been out for a while on DVD. My trepidation was it's rated R for one thing. And I thought, why in the world would Baywatch need to be rated R? My goodness, it's a show about lifeguards. We don't need anything nasty in it. It had The Rock in it, which I love The Rock. I've loved, well, I used to say I love everything that The Rock's been in, but as of late, no, I can't say that, because there have been some things that he has been in that I did not like because of his character and what his character said and did. I was very disappointed in his choices, because I thought he was a more upstanding moral person than that at times. So that's just my personal opinion. But we watched Baywatch, and I'm a Christian, so I don't appreciate nasty humor, and I don't appreciate throwing the F-bomb into every other sentence. I don't find the appeal for that. I don't understand why anybody would want to hear that, and I don't know why they feel people speak like that in normal life. I think my daughter thinks that that's how normal people speak, because she watches things, and she and her friends, use potty language because it's their age. And I did that when I was in middle school. You're away from mom and dad. You're like, ooh, I can say, whatever I want. And you just kind of experiment with, foul language. But I never said it at home. Never, 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 because I knew better. Yeah. So anyway, the F-bomb is scattered all over this movie. So I had to tune that out, because I can't. Most of the time I just shut a movie off if I hear that. It's just too much. Plus they had juvenile, middle school boy humor about body parts and, just stupid sexual stuff. If they had left that stuff out and just kept the funny humor instead of the nasty humor, I would have personally enjoyed it much more. I would say overall, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this movie, but there were some funny parts to it, and it did have a plot, but it was, if you ever watched the original Baywatch with David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson when it was on, you will recognize the feel of Baywatch in this movie, because they did kind of keep the campiness in a little bit, but they kind of nastied it up a little just to get the rating, which I did not appreciate. And I read an article about this movie that was an idea that The Rock had. The script did not have that in it to start with, and he had it changed to get an R rating instead of a PG rating, which disappointed me in a great way. So anyway, that's just my little movie review for you. Take it or leave it, whatever. Excuse me. So I think I'm going to... I can't watch Stranger Things without my husband. He'd be very disappointed. That's the thing. There are all these things on Netflix that I would love to watch, and all these things that are on demand on our cable box, and things that we've DVR'd, that we've recorded. But many of them I can't watch without him, because it would be... those are shows that we watch together. And so I don't want to watch it and then watch it again. And I don't want to watch it without him. And if I've already seen it, he probably wouldn't want to watch it. And he doesn't really ever get the opportunity to watch stuff without me, for the most part, because I'm always around. Poor guy. So I think I may watch the cheesy movie, because I know he does not want to watch that. So I may give that another whirl, just because it's here. And it needs to be returned before 9 p.m. tonight, so my opportunities to watch are limited. But I think that's what I'm going to do this morning. And I got 8 of the monster kits made last night. And so I need to make however many more it takes to get to like 22. Because besides my class, I have a few other people in mind to give these out to that I think will enjoy them. So, and I'm trying to think if I want to do something for my colleagues. I kind of do. I'm not sure what I want to do. I might just Pinterest that. Yes, I just made that a verb. I think a lot of people have made Pinterest a verb. Yes. Oh, you can just Pinterest it. Might as well make it a verb, because, it's a pretty common thing. I tell you, I get a lot of my ideas from Instagram anymore, though. I didn't used to be an Instagram girl, but when I went on there in the summer, and I had an account for a long, long time and just never really went on there. Originally, it was for my Jamberry business, and then I couldn't get it set up right. For some reason, it wasn't working on my device that I was using, and then I just changed it to a different account, and it was working fine after that. But I get so many great ideas on there, because there are so many teachers on Instagram. Wow. I think there are more teachers on Instagram probably than on Facebook and YouTube combined. Because Instagram, I mean, from the name, it's more instant, for one thing. But, you know, on Instagram, you can link your Facebook account to it, and anything you post on Instagram will go straight to your Facebook, too. Which sometimes you gotta be careful, because, well, not because, okay, that sounded bad. I don't post anything nasty anywhere, because that's just not me. Also, as teachers, we do have a responsibility to be very careful with what we put out on social media, because we are professionals and it can affect our job status. Fair or unfair, it's the way life is, and you just have to be that way. Yes, I know we're people. I know we have lives. I know we have personal lives. However, we are held to a higher standard, and we are representing children and a school district, and we have to think about that before we just post any old thing. Like, I live in a lake area where we have a place called Party Cove, and if I were to post pictures of me hanging out at Party Cove, swinging my beads around, that would not go well with my administration. So yes, I can do that on the weekends if I choose, but I should not post it on social media where students and parents could see it. Anyway, that's just an example. But I forgot where I was going with that. So Instagram, you can link to your Facebook. Now, the reason I was saying you have to be careful, like for me, I have to be careful what I put on Instagram because it goes directly to my Facebook, is like I don't want to spoil surprises. So, for example, I don't want to put my monster kit on Instagram because it'll link to my Facebook, and I'm friends with parents on Facebook, and I don't want to ruin surprises. That's the only reason that I wouldn't post certain things on Instagram. And yeah, I can unlink it. I may do that. I think you can unlink it and then link it back on too, so you can do that. But that would be the only reason I would do that. Plus the fact that some of the people that I would probably be giving these things to are on Facebook and follow me. So it'd be like, here on Instagram, this is what I'm making for Christmas presents. And then it posts on Facebook and then everyone sees it. It's like that. So I have to think about that before I post everything. And even in my YouTube videos, I have to start being careful because I've got some people that follow me on YouTube that I know personally, and I don't want to ruin their surprises. I hope you've enjoyed my view of the fireplace this whole time because you do not want to see my scary looking self. Let me tell you. When I'm home on the weekends, unless I'm going somewhere, this girl is au naturel. I'm not naked, but naked face anyway, and hair not done. Glasses on, hair not done, in my pajamas for a better part of the day. Unless I need to do something more productive. So I'm going to go for now. And I'll check back with you later. As I was saying, I had about 8 of those monster things done. Monster kits. And I'll be finishing the rest of them up sometime before Tuesday. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. I don't know. It'll probably be this weekend. Because Monday I have meetings and that always wears me out. And then I realized, even though I already knew in the back of my head, but it didn't like click the ramifications of it, Halloween is Tuesday. Halloween. Which I've been thinking about the kids the whole time. And I went, oh crud. I'm supposed to dress up too. What am I going to do for that? So then I realized, oh, I do have something I could wear. And it'll be real easy. And be comfortable. That's the thing. Like, if you can dress up as something, make it something comfortable. My goodness. You have a choice. You don't have to be in your professional teacher wear. Make it something as comfortable as pajamas if you can. Or make it pajamas and do something like that. Like, I could be a sleepyhead. Or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't have to do my hair. It could be, well, actually, on the days where we have crazy hair day, it actually takes me longer to make the crazy hair because you have to make it like stick out and stuff and make it stay that way. So it takes a lot of effort to get that stuff to stick out and then spray it down like crazy. Anyway, I'm still thinking on what I'm going to dress up as. So it's going to be something I already have because I'm not going out and buying anything for a costume. That's just silly. I have enough of that kind of stuff already from things that I've done in the past as a teacher because, yes, I'm that teacher that will dress up just to make her kids interested in what they're learning. Yep. I'm all about that. So, excuse me. I'm going to go for now. I'm going to drink some more of my warm tea that's probably not warm anymore, but I have a microwave down here so I can heat it up again. And probably watch the rest of that cheesy movie, or as much as I can stand. I might let you know how that went. And I might do a little bit of planning, because I didn't have that much to do, really, when I left school on Thursday. But I'm not really feeling it right now, so I don't think I will. Yeah, just feeling kind of lazy and relaxed, which is kind of how you should be when you're taking a break. After all the crazy of the last 2 weeks, I think I deserve it. So I'll catch you later.
Look who decided to join me on my lap. Sweet snuggly boo.
Her real name's Mittens, but we call her Boo Kitty. Yes, and she's a sweetie pie. She was our first kitty. She was Caitlin's first pet. Sweet kitty girl. She's kind of attached to my husband now. Like, I think he's her favorite person. She likes to climb up and lay on his shoulder. And she'll come sit by his feet and look up at him. And he'll say, well, come on. And she'll go, and then jump up and climb onto his shoulder and get all comfortable and go to sleep for a while. Yep. It's pretty sweet. She's a snuggly boo. And sometimes she will come in the bathroom in the mornings when I'm getting ready and kind of twerp at me with her little kitty voice. And she wants me to pick her up. So she wants a little snuggle before I get ready the rest of the way. So of course I have to do that. I kind of feel bad when we have to leave them home all day while we're at school and work. But at least they have each other. There are 4 of them. So they definitely never are without a partner in crime should they choose. So that helps. But I know they miss us when we're gone because they're waiting for us at the door when we come back, which is really sweet. So, yep, get my little snuggly boo while I'm trying to finish watching this cheesy Guardian movie. Yeah, I haven't gotten very far. So, I'll let you know how it turns out. I think it's about to get interesting. But I've been saying that for a while, so I'm still holding out hope that there's something of value in this movie to warrant my time. So, I will let you know. She just snuggled in even more so she could conk out. If you see the bag down there, I did finish the monster kits and they are packaged and ready to go. All I need to do now is to take them to school and staple those tags onto them. But I also want to put in a little treat that's monster fruit snacks that I picked up a couple weeks ago and have saved back. So I'm going to throw those in there. I think that would be great. I think they'll really like that. And I have a couple extras in there for a couple of extra special people. That'll be really good too. I was going to put them in this bag here with the little flowers and hibiscus. But I'm like, you know what? They're already in that bag. And once I get to school, I can... Oh, Mittens is pushing my camera. I can take this bag and just put it in my recycled bag thing for kids who forget their backpacks or who need to change their clothes or whatever. They're very handy in the classroom, so I never get rid of them. I always put them in a bag. I have a bag similar to this that's bigger that I keep those kind of bags in one of the extra cubbies. It's pretty nice. This is the arm of my couch. That's why you're seeing that weird glob. But it is now 8:50 and I'm still down here just with my furry kids. Having a nice relaxing time. Just enjoying life. Watching movie. I told you I finished up my monster kits and I've been heating and reheating my tea and just kind of chilling out. There's Socks. He's laying over here too. These two were snuggling together until Socks had to kind of turn jerky and start something. He started wanting to play rough and she was having none of it. She was like, you know what? I was enjoying just laying here, so just knock it off. So she got up and moved. So he's over there just kind of doing his thing and she's over here doing her thing. Yep. Yum. It was feeling like a soupy kind of day, and I found some frozen in our deep freeze. This is Italian sausage and cheese tortellini soup with some shredded cheddar melted in. And we are out of bread, so I found some English muffins, toasted them, and put peanut butter on them. So that sounded good to me, too. So hopefully this helps my head keep cleared and satisfies my tummy. I wanted to show you this really cute game that I found on TpT today. I've been talking about making a Minion game for a while, and I just hadn't had the energy, and I thought, you know, surely somebody already has one I could use. So I looked on Pinterest, of course, and I found this super cute game, and I thought it would be great for getting my kids to practice reading 3-letter words, and also differentiating whether it's a real word or a nonsense word, so they can know when they're reading something real in their book and fix it. So it's got, obviously, real words, but also has silly words that the Minions would probably say. So I think I'm going to call this Blanabas, because that's how the Minions say bananas. And every time they draw a nonsense card and they can tell me it's a nonsense word and read it correctly, they're going to get a yellow linking cube to slide over to their spot. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most Blanabas, which will be the yellow cubes, will get to pick their treat first. I think this will be a super fun game for them to play on Thursday when we have our phonics game during reading groups. I think it'll be great practice for my lower kids and just really fun for my high kids. So
I'm going to print that out and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Well, Mittens has decided to supervise the printing process, so that's always good to have a helper. So they're printing out right here. They're looking really good. I think I'm going to put blanabas on the back of each card. They're only going to be about like 30 of them, so that won't take me too long. I might even print labels that say that on there and slap them on there and laminate. I'm not really sure. I don't really feel like laminating. They would hold up longer. But I left my slicer at school. I'm not feeling real energetic about cutting them out. I would have until Thursday to do them, but I'd like to get them done when I have time this weekend. Oh, here comes Onyx to see what's going on too. I was also going to show you some fact family things I found for my intervention group since we're going to start that on Tuesday. I wanted to do something Halloweenish / Thanksgiving-ish. So here's pumpkin fact families where they have the 3 numbers and they just make 2 addition and 2 subtraction sentences. Also, I found a couple things for my class to do for a game. This is subtraction spin. Just take a paper clip and spin one number and put it, first. And spin the second number and put second, then find the difference. I think they'll like that. Here's one I can use later, which is a spin and add, which would be good. It's got a scarecrow. Then there's a spider subtraction I thought was really cute. They just find the difference in the numbers. It's always good to get more practice subtracting. And there's a ghosty one. So I thought I might use those for morning work, or like, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Right before we have math time, we have our snack. And it always takes me a little bit to get the snack together, and then they're just kind of sitting there. And I do kind of start talking about the lesson, but I'm not really over there to teach the lesson. So I don't know. I thought it might be good if maybe I gave them a little independent math activity like that they could do while they're waiting. Here is the first thing we're going to do is the candy corn fact families. So we're going to have to figure out the missing number. Some of them will have to add the numbers together, find the sum, and some will have to figure out what the missing number is. And then I think they take that, if I get hold of it. Yeah, and then they make their own fact families over here. So they're going to pick whichever candy corns they want. And then this will be like white, yellow, orange, white, yellow, orange. And they'll color code it. That seems to really help. Or they could even write it in white, yellow, and orange. Well, they can't write in white, obviously. Yeah. Maybe they could color in yellow and orange anyway. So if they color yellow, orange, and that'll take a little bit of time too. That'll be good. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I haven't thought this one completely through. I want it to take the time that we have. I don't want it to be busy work. I would color code it just so they would know how to write it over here. So it wouldn't be just to take up time and color code. It'd be so that they could see it better. Like I did when I had them color the right hand number of the 2-digit subtraction green, so they knew to start here and go to the left. Green means go, start here and go over. Yeah, that would be the only reason I would have them do that. So here's my little Minion cards, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished and put together. Okay, so this is what it will look like when they flip the card over. It just says Blanabas on the back, and if I had a banana sticker or something or more time, I'd probably put a banana on there, but whatever. It's a nice nonsense word for a nonsense word game. So I just need to put that on the back of 4 more pages. Then I'll be ready to cut it out, and I can show you what they look like in the bucket. All right, here is the game all cut out, ready to go. And these are little sweet tart candies that I'm gonna give to the kids from my math group and from the intervention group that come in. And look at the cute little bucket I saved from McDonald's from I don't know how many years ago. Because they give these out at Halloween time, like through probably the end of September through November till they get rid of them. They always have some kind of Halloween treat bucket. And I just thought this was too cute to get rid of. That's where I got my Scooby-Doo bucket too. So I had to make a cute game out of it because how cute is that? Yes. So I will probably try to film playing this game next week so you can see how it turned out. But I thought it turned out really, really good. My husband is going to go take the movies back we got last night and get some french fries for my daughter, and I'm wanting a Coke because it will help my head. It's weird. The combination of the caffeine and the sugar and the chemical crud that's in Coke for some reason tends to help my headaches when they're really, really bad. So that's kind of a last resort thing that I do. And then I think we're going to have Caitlin put her Fire Stick in the TV and find something on our Spectrum cable app for a Halloween movie to watch tonight as a family. And that shall end our broadcast day. So I hope you had a wonderful Saturday. I hope it's not too cold or too hot where you are. Hope you were comfy, whatever you were doing. Hope you had a really nice Saturday. And I will see you tomorrow. Love and hugs.